So it's Thursday, day 4 of Legacy Week, and ourselves bring in the different elements of the company sort of to yourselves so you can see what we're all about. And today you've got the pleasure of meeting Mr. Henry Waring.
Pleasure's all mine.
And I just thought, let's get a little bit an idea of yourself, and then the project that we've built that you've immersed yourself in now. So you came on board in March?
Yes.
Yeah, came for a little bit of work experience in March, didn't
Yes.
you? So back then it was Sarah, myself, Aaron,
Nathan.
Russ,
Oh.
Nathan. So it was very much a small team back then.
Very compact.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that you felt as if you fitted in straight away.
Yeah, I like to think I've gone along with a bunch of people, and I like to think people like me.
And you're very unique, aren't you? And that's what we love about you.
That's one way to put it, yeah.
So like, if you don't mind saying, sort of telling me, what, is it autistic?
Yep, Asperger. Yeah.
Asperger, so sort of neurodiverse, so you very much are very linear, aren't you?
Literal.
Yeah. It's sort of, which, to be honest, for us it's been great because it's been a massive learning curve, you know, that sort of, because you're very articulate. If anybody met you in the street, they would think, oh yeah, very sort of, very switched on, very informative, very knowledgeable of some rubbish. But
Rubbish?
No, but you
Rubbish.
know, that sort of, you come out with lots of dribble, which is very informative. But no, but yeah, no, but sort of anybody that would meet you in a non-work environment wouldn't realise sort of the amount of support sort of that you like to have in order to be able to enable to sort of create the like the projects and the work that you do. However, we're talking about projects and stuff like that. Like from the very off, we sort of try different things. Like you flourish with like research. When you look at the website that we've built, sort of which I couldn't have done without the amount of information that you sort of went and found and created for me.
Oh, it's a team effort,
But the moment for me was yourself, and I say boys because you're all like 20 plus years younger than me, even though I don't like it. But you did a funding application which required a short video. And when I was shown that video, I was blown away by how comfortable, how professional you were.
Yep.
But what also stood out for me was you could tell that you weren't reading from any words. It was literally you had digested the information that you needed to say, and it just flowed. You know, which I tell you what is a skill. It is really a skill. So I sort of popped into the office, come and saw you, and sort of said, I've got this idea, Henry. What do you think? And I came up with Roman Henry with glasses. But no, do you know what I love about that now? The glasses flying off. That really sort of shows a bit of the personality of when you put those glasses on. Because sort of, right, Roman Henry, all right? The whole idea is for you to be able to create material in your Henryism way of podcast, video. You've done a review, haven't you? Sort of with Neil.
Yes.
But it's just sort of, it's seeing how you sort of you'll take something, whether it's a product or a place or a scenario, and you sort of you share that with us, and sort of. And the lovely thing now is that you've done, how many podcasts have you done now?
So one's recorded. 1, 2, 3. Around 5.
Yeah.
Excluding the interview with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've got about 12 lined up, I think, now over the next sort of month or so.
I still have to cycle through them, yeah.
Yeah. But it's sort of, as comfortable as you are, sort of in the persona, there's still a lot of work you have to do behind, and you're researching and sort of getting to know that person sort of before you sort of do a podcast or interview them in some form. And sort of what sort of area, where sort of areas do you struggle? Well, not so much struggle, but you find where's like the quirkiness as such in the way that whole project is for you to. Well, the whole idea that I want persons to see you for like you, the Roman Henry, for the true character of that person.
Well, biggest component, I suppose, is anxiety and inexperience with the whole line of podcasting, interviewing, and.
But I'll be honest with you, right, the ones you've created, you wouldn't think it, because you come across really well.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and the thing is, and that's because you're meticulous with what you'll find out, and you'll put questions to them beforehand and ask for questions, which then certainly helps yourself in that scenario. So I think it's a bit of sort of, like I suppose we're all equal to it, where we set ourselves a very high standard.
Yes.
You know.
But yes, but there's all I think I have a very irrational fear of messing up or wasting people's time. Whenever I stammer or stutter, I'll get annoyed over it, and then it makes it more likely to make the same mistake later on. But as soon as so far as every podcast / interview has gone, as soon as the conversation is picked up and is carrying itself along, I feel that's when I breathe and actually try and focus on giving some relevant and worthy questions.
I go back to the one that we did as a bit of a test with myself, and I was quite floored at how you're processing what's being taken in, but at the same time, your skill set is actually allowing you to actually think of questions off the cuff from what you're listening to. It's not a case of there's a piece of paper here or an auto cue over there sort of thing. That it is really you're engrossing yourself in that moment, in that interview.
Try and treat it as a conversation, because in a conversation you can listen to the other person but still think up questions or things put forward too. It's just making sure it's professional. It's a professional and worthy question to ask. Like something to actually explore all angles around a subject, rather than just one perspective.
No, which is great. And I think because of the variety of the different things, like different projects and whatnot, you've immersed yourself in with the business. You see, I'd say your outlook now, your perception of things now is very much different to when you first came in to Legacy, which has really strengthened you then with different subject material when it comes to doing your podcast.
It's spreading in a line of work I never really expected to encounter, but actually doing it, I find myself enjoying it quite a lot. So, yeah, I'm having new experiences.
And it's been like, it's nice to be tested and pushed beyond your boundaries, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, but I'm a very sloth-like person. I like things going nice and slow, nice and steady, not go. Think on the spot.
But you're also very one that takes like a sort of I was gonna say command. That's totally wrong. Yeah. But I know
not nearly that.
No, as in the sense of like let's say today, right? Yesterday we said, come on, let's do a video so we can sort of show persons who's behind Rowan Henry. So I said, right, do me a favour, come in your Roman Henry gear, bring your shirt, sorry, that's wrong. I said bring your glasses and your tie, okay? Why are we not here in full Roman Henry gear?
Because you didn't specify the shirt.
Exactly.
As you said. I still can't tie a tie.
And I do that for you before an interview.
Hey,
so that's
yeah,
not a
there you
problem.
go.
But no, it's sort of. But this is like your personality.
The literalness.
Very literal.
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's just. You get asked something and you think about it and you think just about that thing and you don't have the initiative to think, well, maybe he meant something else. What I typically do is I think that's what he asked me. What he asked me is so typically I did what he asked.
You haven't got it wrong, have you?
Yeah. Well, I've got it wrong in the sense that you expected me to put two and two together and put the shirt in with it, but I thought this was professional enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no. Like what bits do you find hard with sort of being the character of Roman Henry then?
Making sure I'm improving, making sure I have good questions to always put forward. Really, just it's an experience. I'm struggling with most, and
You wouldn't think it.
well,
No,
Yeah,
I'm being honest.
yeah, thank you.
Do you know what I love when you do like a piece of work when you're interviewing somebody is how, for me, the best parts are where your true character comes through, where not because you're stuttering or anything like that, but or like I still laugh and have a chuckle thinking of you trying to say inaccessibility in the one video. You wanted it cut out straight away, and I was like, no way, we're going to keep that because it's showing Roman Henry and the true person. It's not a case of everything is like it's all perfect makeup, hair perfect, shirt's perfect. It's not.
Oh, far from perfect.
And exactly, but this is showing how sort of anybody out there can have a go at anything.
Yeah, if this idiot can do it, anyone can.
Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as saying idiot, but yeah. But for me, it's sort of it's showing the vulnerability, and that's what makes you with your other sort of strengths.
Well, conversationally, I can. Typically where I show off my autism the most is in conversation, where I will get fixated on one subject and I'll talk heavily about it when the other person was like,
Yeah, we've covered that.
Yeah. Okay. Too much information. That phenomenon happens all the time. But when it's in an interview, there's not so much opportunity to have that aspect come out. So yeah, it's
okay. Listen, we need to bring everything to an end because we talk all day, every day, and sort of all your funny sort of anecdotes and knowledge, bits of random knowledge that you know. Here's a question for you to finish on, though.
Sure.
What would be your sort of dream podcast or review or vlog that you'd like to sort of once you've got that full confidence behind you and you feel as if you could just talk to anybody in a professional manner how you'd like to feel, what would be like your I tell you what, that's my bucket list sort of podcast I'd like to go and do.
One where I have people representing like multiple, like different aspects to the disabled community,
right?
And we talk about a subject that is very hard to solve, but everyone has to bring forth their opinion, and I'm the sort of referee to it. So
you're the Dimbleby of the
panel.
panel.
Yeah, because I think that's the most interesting and the most brain-tickling conversation to have. If that's a good word, if that's a good phrase.
So let's see what we can do on that front then, is it?
Let's see what happens. But for me to get to that point, I have to be really on the ball. But
I know, but then if it's a subject which you're really passionate about,
yeah,
I know how you work and how you embrace it, that without realising you could do that one tomorrow.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
totally.
So,
Don't give it to me tomorrow, please.
no, you
I
got
don't want it tomorrow.
you got enough on your work
It's
now.
so hardly.
But no, I think I can safely say that you love being Roman Henry.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, there you fab. Thank you for it.
No problem. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.